Though.
Cool. Oh, that's cool.
It's funny to me. Hey, look, we're live. Yeah, how nice is that?
We're live.
I'm always waiting to. I want to get it.
Screen real blurry to you?
It is a little blurry.
Yeah, I don't. Something's going on with my internet, and my whole setup is off today. I don't know what the deal is. Like I said, last night it worked perfectly fine. Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm just going to share this over to But Mostly. What's up, Tony?
Hey, Tony.
I'm going to share this. And Karen, how are you? And Kyle, what's up, buddy? I'm going to see Kyle on Saturday. It's kind of fun. Let's just pray that neither one of us are serial killers. Oh, look, you're seeing me without my lights. Yeah, that's better. I finally, like, just before the show, ordered an extension cord for this cord because I want it to look like this. But then I feel like I want it to go behind my back. This is the kinds of weird things that keep me awake at night. And I want it to go further back, but I'm afraid I'm going to knock it out. So, yeah, and I'm sure I will make this dumb joke again at some pointing. Oh, Kyle's at the Edison. That's not fair. They have a solid burger. What's up, Caleb? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, I think this would. I don't like to brag, but we are better than tax laws. We're more exciting than listening to property tax laws. I'd like to think anyway. But yeah, I don't. I think I've even posted before. I don't really consider myself an adult, so this is a weird topic for me, I guess. But it looks like everything's working. Andrew's got technical difficulties, so he's a little fuzzy like a peach.
Yeah, I'm a blur.
I know.
I'm a pixelated blob.
I don't know if there's a way to do that, Karen. And maybe I'll ask Lou. Yeah, this is my secret, as Tony said, my secret service. Get something in my ear. And the only reason I wear the earpiece is because when I was on Lou's podcast the first time, I didn't like the way it sounded. Everyone else sounded really good and I didn't, and it bothered me. But I think part of it was there's an echo. I don't know. There's a lot of technology going on. I should show you from this side sometime. It looks like my wife calls it the airport, like I'm landing planes or something over here, and I'm not doing anything. I do have a black SUV though, so I could wear this wire in the black SUV, and then I'd really look like I was in the yeah. I and they're so Tony's saying that there's a way to show from both platforms. I don't know how to have them. Like, do you have to have your own app? Like I can see them from both platforms. If anyone's from Wisconsin, I'm drinking my Sprecher root beer, which is in a tied. I love Sprechers, and then I love Dominion, which is a Virginia product. One's made with cane sugar, and one made with honey. Things I know.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, let's get started. I got a lot to say. Really don't. As always, I'm stalling for time. Hey guys, and welcome to the But Mostly Disney podcast. I'm Tater, and as always, my friend on the other end from Charleston, South Carolina, Andrew, is here with us.
Good evening, folks.
Again with that pause, you scare me when you do
How's things in Virginia Beach?
You know, it's fine. Everything's fine here. We're all fine here. Movie? Anyone? Solo?
We're fine. We're fine.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. No, things are good here. It was actually quite nice today. I ran around getting my son has our Jeep in Florida. and I let him take my car back so we could do some work on the Jeep and then get it inspected. And now I got to get the fan. The fan wasn't working. So I've been running from my Jeep guy to another mechanic. Seen a lot of mechanics today. That's what I've been doing. Almost some adult type stuff, which is exactly what we're going to talk about tonight. And whether or not Andrew seems like an adult, he might be. My
wife would disagree.
Right, loosely in that category at best. But we're gonna narrow that down to Disney adults, and that term gets thrown around so much. The DFB lady wrote a book on it, which I read, and I thought it was an interesting book. I've never had anybody actually call me like, "Oh, are you one of those Disney adults?" No one's ever really said that to me. I do get made fun of frequently for being such a big Disney nerd, is really what I hear more of than
me too.
Than Disney adult. But I know
you're one of those people,
right? But I know adult is out there in the vernacular, and we'll talk about the good, the bad, and the magical, and see what we can come up with. And I think we need like was it Jeff Foxworthy? Do you know park hours without checking? You might be a Disney adult, that kind of thing. Do you have a favorite resort scent? You might be a Disney.
I am the map.
Have you planned a trip to Disney just to eat? You might be. And that's kind of right. But I mean, look, I'll preface this out that among any group of people, there are fanatics who become the stereotype for anything. I mean, if you take a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, right? And he's got Pittsburgh stuff all over his house, and he spends every Sunday, every moment, maybe buys passes to go to the games. I mean, is that... Yeah, Jeremy from Main Street Magic says, if you own more than 10 popcorn buckets, you might be a Disney adult. We really need to start that as a meme. These would make fantastic Instagram content. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, it's a joke, and Tony's saying that her dad, all he does is plan the food and golf, right? And I think as we've...
What's wrong with that?
Exactly. Gotten older, I mean, the food is as important to us as the attractions. Like, we wouldn't, but we could skip rides and attractions and just go eat. Like, I mean, I'm going Sunday. I'm not planning on riding anything. My wife and I are going to go down. We're going to hit Festival of the Arts. We're going to walk around and we're going to eat. And that's our plan for the whole day. Now, if Soren has a low weight, we pop into something. I'm not saying we wouldn't. And that's the other thing. Yeah, we're going to be doing this all show. Karen says, if you name your child after a Winnie the Pooh character, you might be a Disney adult. So what does it mean? Like, how do you define that, right? Like, good or bad, I don't really care. But I mean, what does it mean? You know, you've got people who go once or twice and then they're done. One of my best friends, I won't say she hates it, but she doesn't like it. And her logic was kind of like how I feel about Vegas. I would never spend my own money to do it. And that's how she feels about Disney. Now, she had a friend who was a cast member who gave her tickets and she got to go and she had a blast. Loved Animal Kingdom the most. But will she ever go back? No. Does she make fun of me going every year? Well, every month right now? Yeah. But her and her husband fly to Cancun twice a year to go see Dave Matthews. And I mean, you know, there's a lot of things I'd like to do. And I like Dave Matthews. I don't have any I don't listen to him all the time or anything, but I'm not going to travel to go see Dave Matthews, especially not repeatedly. And that's where it becomes a thing, right? Where we start repeating it over and over again. Because that's the question. And we did a show on it. Please don't ask what number, because I'll never be able to find it. But why we keep going back and the reasons we going back. And do those reasons make us Disney adults? Well, Tony's going really deep here. I'm not going to read the first one, but if you just read the second one. If you name your dog after an Imagineer, you might be a Disney adult. Good. These will break up the podcast. Keep them coming. Deep. And so Karen says, it's someone who loves Disney all around, the parks, the movies, everything else. And I think that's true, right? And I'll be honest, Disney is a big form of escapism for me, right? My life is so good. I mean, please don't get me wrong, but it's hard, like everybody's life. We all have troubles and problems and day-to-day grind and all of that. And Disney kind of relieves that for me. It's a good stress relief. And look, I'm doing the content stuff with it, so I can kind of say, hey, I have a reason to go, but I'm doing it for me. Let's not kid ourselves. My kids got to go to Disney because my wife and I wanted to go. And my wife's very reasonable and smart. She's not like me, right? She makes sense. And she still likes going. She's excited. She totally co-signs this stuff, though is, within reason. And your wife's the same, right, Andrew?
Yeah, so like I didn't get to go to Disney until I was in high school, and then there was a grad night deal, and I was hooked after that, and then I went through the years after that, and then when we got married, we decided we were going to have a kind of a family moon. We kind of went to the parks a couple of days before, and then um, our best friends brought our daughter down, and she didn't know she was going to Disney. She thought she was going to Hard Rock Park or something, the hotel, and that kind of kicked off for my family. And then there was like a couple 3 year period where we didn't go, and then um, my grandfather passed away, and he was a big part of my life. And it kind of just clicked in me then. Is like you got to start enjoying things that you like and stop working so much. And that's one thing my grandfather did. He enjoyed being with his family and doing things with his family. And I brought Disney up again, and we would talk about it, watch things on TV. We just weren't financially able to go for about 10 years after we got married to do it. So when we finally were able to do it, slowly but surely, Julie started liking it and asking questions and joining groups. And right after, I think it was when Matt and Crystal did their group that she really got him, started looking at things. And she thought it was funny. It says I'm married to a Disney addict, and that's what she would call me because I eat, sleep, breathe anything Disney, whether it would be something about the parks or the cruise line or history. I love Disney history and Walt, and so I think it's more than just oh, you're going to the parks again. Like I get enjoyment out of driving to vacation. My vacation starts when we get in a car.
Well,
And first thing we started putting vacation up at work, and I made a comment to the guys. All right, I'm taking the second week of February off to go. I guess you're going to Disney World again. I'm like, yes, I am. Also going on a cruise, but we do other things, but we fit it in when we can.
Well, and that's the thing, right? You're a well-rounded guy, right? You're a golfer. If I was trying to describe you, you're a golfer, yeah. Disney guy, a car guy, right? You love sports. I mean, I've seen you and Lou talk. Oh, look, how cool is this? Milo is from Colombia. That's at least 2 countries we've got now. Japan and yes, Colombia. I see. This is just why I think the internet is so neat. And there's our buddy Andrew Prince. He's been, by the way, if you are not going over to Accessible Adventures by Andrew, he's got a ton of videos out. He has been churning and burning on editing video. He's been killing it. And this is such a great point. Tony says that everybody makes fun of it until they're going with their own kids. And then they're like, hey, you're an expert. Can you tell us?
Yeah.
I was listening.
You want to be my friend.
Right. And that is one of the characteristics that I listened to a couple videos today while I was still trying to put Christmas stuff away. And one by Poseidon Entertainment. And I like him. He's always a little negative, right? But I like that. It's a little dose of reality of what's going on. And he had made a video talking about how he felt like Disney adults were bad for the parks, in some ways at least, because they just co-sign everything. Like no matter what it is, we are positive on this channel, right? We work really hard to be upbeat and happy about Disney, but we're not apologists. We'll talk about that stupid lobby at the Polynesian, so we're not afraid to say when things are wrong. And when Disney screws up, like they did with the Lobby of the Polynesian, then we'll call a spade and move on. We've made fun of the Epcot stuff. I like to do it in a happy way. These decisions are difficult, and I'm not the one, who has to carry the weight. And there are decisions I would have never made. But he blames some Disney adult stuff on the fact that we don't, that it's ruining some of the storytelling, right? Which is a big part of why we go, right? We love this storytelling. We love what they do. I couldn't help, and I keep doing it and saying I'm not doing it. So there's probably a word for that, but I don't know what it is. When we were in Disneyland riding the monorail around, I was looking at all these AC units. I'm going, oh, Walt would have hated this. Like Walt, wanted you to never see behind the scenes. Like that was he would have fixed this by now. He would have, because it's so much of it on that monorail ride is just such an industrial, and you can't get it all, but he didn't want you to see AC units and delivery doors and all that kind of stuff. And that's not playing what would Walt do. That's just, he said he didn't want to see it. Yeah. And he feels like it makes Disney lazy because they know that there's this ever-growing group of people who are going to Disney bound and show up and come no matter what, right? Lazy Imagineering or letting the suits take over aside, that they'll still keep coming in, and it's not good for the parks.
Well, I've heard it just the other way, that Disney doesn't like Disney adults and doesn't like AP holders because we don't spend any money.
Well,
we get down there, we get what we need, and I spend a little bit of money, but I'm not the family that's coming down every 5 to 6 years that's going to shell $10,000 out at a time. But
no, but if you probably kept your receipts, if you kept your receipts and put them together over the time that people go in that time, I bet you're close, right? Like spending a little money 3 times the year.
I think so.
Yeah. And so I've heard that too, but I feel like it's usually from disgruntled seasons pass holders who didn't get something they wanted, right? I'm not saying it's true, right, but I think we may have even talked about it here where, we always, when I trained people in the restaurants, we had this thing in our handbook where we said that one regular is worth like 20 transient customers, and that those numbers are going to be a little different at Disney. But I mean, I was thinking about it the other day. Why do they have these festivals? Like, why do them? Because isn't that kind of for locals?
Repeat guests.
Right. Which is us.
Yeah. Oh, big time.
I could be wrong. And if anyone out there knows a different reason, and maybe I'll post it in Facebook and see if people can answer that question. But if you don't need those festivals. You could just do cool stuff all the time at Epcot. But wouldn't people keep coming? Like, wouldn't it be crowded anyway? Do you really need Festival of the Arts for a month? I don't know. I love it. Don't get me wrong. Please don't get rid of it. But I mean, it kind of seems like that's some fan service right there. Or maybe it was a historically slow time and that was a good way to put people down there. And I think, look, there's no way I'll stay.
I think you get. What's that?
I was going to say, there's no way I'm going to stay organized on this topic. I do have some notes, but I'm never going to get through them the right way. But I think without Disney adults, you might not have some of these things in the park, right? Might not have these moments.
That I don't think you have the growing fan base, because if you don't have Disney adults, you don't have my 2 girls. Addison's 11 and she's still growing in her fandom, but my oldest is 25. When I say, hey, we're going to go on a cruise, we're just going on a Royal Caribbean cruise, but hey, when we're done, we're going to go spend 2 days in a park, and she's like, oh, great, cool, fun, let's go. You're going to if you don't have those Disney adults, you're not going to have those family members.
And Karen says big time for locals, because as a once a year or every other year traveler, I don't get to try much of the food festivals. But would you plan a trip? Let's say you go every 3 years. Would a festival be part of your planning? I think it'd be a lucky coincidence, right? Like we were forced to go either summer or spring break. My wife's a teacher, so and my kids were in private school, and she's a public school teacher, so we had to take them out of. It's complicated, but those are our times to go. We can either go summer or spring break, and so we always went spring break. Well, for the first 10, 12 years, and that was Flower and Garden. So that was the only festival I knew until I got an annual pass, actually.
Yeah, that's same thing. We didn't want to take the girls out of school, so spring break was our time. So the Flower and Garden was our go-to for the longest. And then when when they started the Festival of the Arts, we had ended up having to plan the vacation that week. It's the first time they had it, and I'm like, "What's this? Some new festival? Like, this is cool. Like something a filler in between, and it's nice." But yeah, I think it's made for the locals. I think it's made for the AP holder, the DVC member that's going to come down.
And look at the menus. Those are adult menus, right?
Oh, yes, they are.
I mean, that's the thing that my friends are, and I will say they kind of tilt their heads a little bit when I say that out of the 5 best meals I've ever had in my life, 3 of them were at Disney. And I mean, best service, best food, best experience. I mean, just unbelievable. And Andrew sums it up here too. He says he's started as a Disney kid and is now a proud Disney adult. And that's the thing too.
Absolutely.
Like I have no apologies for loving Disney. And Jeremy says that farts is the best. We'll find out Sunday. He just wanted to say farts. That's true. And so, you run that spectrum of, and this was the other thing I heard another video today, and this guy was pretty funny actually. That millennials, if you look up the definition, like Urban Dictionary, I can do it right now, but in Urban Dictionary, Disney adults are millennials. And I don't even know, if I'm being frank, what a millennial is. And they talk about, and they really put a lot of weight on bounding, on Disney bounding, which if you don't know what that is, yeah. So as a millennial adult, this is what it says: with or without kids, that can't stop talking about Disney, including the movies and parks. And if they do have kids, they're more obsessed than their kids would be. They probably do Disney bounding and visit the parks at least once a year. Wow, you only have to go once a year to be a Disney adult. That's a pretty low bar. Probably have a Mickey bumper sticker and or tattoo. And it says one of the most terrifying, Tony says that's 85 to 2000-ish, 2005-ish. Well, I definitely know.
I'm definitely not a millennial.
Right. And then he says at the end and won't shut up about it. And I think that's where where they get a bad name, because either you see a TikTok of somebody or you see someone who does all this Disney stuff all the time, and really there's no substance to it. Maybe it's just blasting out Disney things all the time, not an organized, lean tream business like we have here, but mostly Disney. And they get annoying, right? I started doing this because I wanted to talk about Disney, and my wife will do it, but she thought maybe I needed another outlet, right? My friends don't want to talk about Disney, at least not as much as I do. And yet they constantly ask. I go watch football with my friends every Sunday, and they always bring up Disney about something, which I think is funny.
Yeah, no, like you say, the guys at work, the salesmen and the sales managers will come to me and go, "All right, Mr. Disney, I'm planning a trip. If I want to take my kids just to Magic Kingdom, where do I stay?" And I ask them all these questions, but then a week earlier they're chastising me about, "Don't you want to do anything? Don't you want to go to vacation anyplace else?" And I'm like, "No, not really. No, I'm good. I can play golf. I can sit by the beach at Polynesia, and I can go to a park. I can do everything I want to do in stone's throw." I'm happy.
Jeremy says if you have Disney tattoos, you're definitely a Disney adult. You don't even get to have the mic there.
And have several Disney tattoos.
But I mean, what's the difference? Okay, so if you're an avid golfer, right, and you play golf every, let's say 3 days a week, right? And sometimes you miss something with your kids or something with your wife, or you're busy, right? You're doing your hobby. Why is it that a sport that you're never going to make any money playing golf? Most people are not going to make, let's rephrase that. You do get some exercise and certainly some mental well-being from it. But I'm going to tell you right now, golf's expensive, right? The equipment's expensive. The clothes can be expensive. The rounds are expensive.
Yeah.
Everything. So how is it that if you spend 10 grand on golf a year, that's, no one even makes fun of it. But if you spent 10 grand on a week at Disney every year, somehow that's weird, and you might need to see a counselor, which I don't understand.
Because most people only put Disney together with little kids. Pixie dust and princesses, and there's so much more to it.
You're
They're just looking at the broad overview.
But even if it wasn't, right? Like, even if it didn't have the great food and the amazing shows and all the things that go on, like, what do you care if I want to walk around and relive my childhood a little bit and maybe reset, right? Yeah. Like, Tony, sorry, I'm going to do this the whole show. Tony says, if all your golf shirts have Disney characters, you might be a Disney adult. Yeah. And so and this is so true. I have a much lighter version of what Andrew's talking about. If you don't know Andrew, but he's in a wheelchair, and he says the parks and the cruises are the easiest vacation for me. We don't need to worry about transportation, where to eat, to sleep, etc. I mean, and he's not literally talking about his chair, but he can get to and from around that park without having to worry about crazy parking, or, you do have long lines. So there's always a balance. But my oldest kid is vegan, and the only place that I don't have to worry about checking her food is Disney. Every single restaurant has a vegan option. I don't have to think. But if we go somewhere else, the kid's stuck with French fries and a fruit cup, Whereas at Disney, there's real things and real food. Yeah, and if you don't know Jeremy from Main Street Magic Podcast, please go listen to him, because he does it twice a week. I don't know how.
He's a professional.
Yes, they have some really, really great information, but people who use the term Disney adult in negative ways because they don't know Disney. They've had one thought of it, or it's like if you quote the Muppets, you might be a Disney adult. But in Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, it's that line from that song, we don't like to learn, but we hate what we don't understand, right? So the thing is I don't think people understand how much fun it is. And I will say that my buddy who went, because I love it so much, did not have a good time, he really should have gone with me the first time, because it has gotten very complicated. He tried to pop in, and I think he experienced the worst of what Disney has to offer, which is a bummer, But I come back. We've always come back from our Disney vacations relaxed. I don't feel stressed. I mean, we just feel great. It's a great place to unwind with your family. And like Walt, I think Emmett. Okay, so Tony says if you know who Emmett Otter is, you might be a Muppet adult. I think Emmett Otter is a little more global than I think he's well known. I hope so, at least in my age group, because that was a big time special. But we come home.
Thing when we were kids,
right? We come home absolutely refreshed. And the thing is if you're spending all your money on anything, you really need to turn around and look at what you're doing, right? If you spend, I don't care if you spend all your money on, if you give all your money away to charity to the point that you can't live, you need to think about what you're doing, right? So, I mean, that would, saying I spend all my money on Disney, maybe, but my bills still get paid. The mortgage is, we're okay, at least for today, right? We'll know after the weekend whether or not, we're still financially solvent. But, anything you could take Disney adult to sport adult, to football adult, to knitting adult, to anything, right?
Anything.
I also, one of the things on Poseidon's video, he was saying, is that there are people who get really defensive if you say something negative about Disney, and I don't. Like, there are negative things about Disney. I don't love it when people are just misinformed. Like, I know when I used to boost posts on Facebook, whoever they would go to would, Disney's nothing but child traffickers and all these crazy things. And I'm like, oh
Oh
my
yeah,
God, no, it's not. Then they show you an article about somebody who got arrested. I know it can happen, but it doesn't mean, it's not like all postmen were going to shoot the place up, right? Just most of them.
right.
I'm just kidding. If you're a mailman, I'm totally joking. Please don't come to my house.
There was a Instagram. I think it was an Instagram short or something. It was there was something Walt was saying in the background, and they were standing at a light post in Main Street, and they were an adult on one side, and when they jumped to the other side of the post, they were their little kid. They were a kid again, and it was talking about their thing was release your inner child and have fun. Well, and I was like, that's pretty cool
It's
because
funny how
I can see myself being a goofball with my kids in the park, and I'm not thinking about work. I've got my email from work paused till we're driving home, and I'm getting 50,000 emails. But when I'm there, I don't want to have any interruptions. I want to have as much fun as I can with my kids, seeing new things. Always like I'll go back and listen to Lou's podcast about the things to look for on Main Street, and I'll find signs and names and people you hear of, and I don't have to worry about anything for a week. I'm in the bubble. I'm happy, like you say, on the way home. They might be sleeping in the car, but we're fresh from vacation. We got memories we made, and my wife's sitting next to me with her laptop, going, "Okay, when do we want to go again?" She's already looking at dates, and it's always been a fun family event. And when my parents get to go, it's even more fun. My dad gets to ride roller coasters and stuff that he normally doesn't get to do, and I get to see him have fun with his granddaughters, and it's just a fun time. So for people to say, "Oh, you're going to Disney," until you do it, you don't understand.
and it's not for everybody, right? Like, that's okay too. Like, there's nothing wrong with not liking it.
Yeah.
I really think there are some things that go on that you just wouldn't like. My son's baseball coach hated it because he hates crowds. And if you hate crowds, this is
My
not,
mother-in-law won't go.
yeah.
Those crowds.
And it's okay, right? That doesn't make them right or wrong
Yeah.
any more than me. Tony says her dad turns into a total kid the second we get into Disney, and it's annoyingly hilarious. But here's the thing: I posted it a little while ago. There's a guy I like on, and I've worked in restaurants since I was like 18 years old. But there's this guy, Chef's Reactions, and he'll watch a TikTok video,
Yes,
and
I've
then,
watched that guy.
dude, I've just posted this on, I think it's in the but mostly Disney group. But if you go in there, the video he posted is him taking he is the primary caregiver for his 91-year-old grandmother, and he takes her to Disney, and it's a very short, less than a minute kind of video, and he's showing how, and she's never been. She'd never watched a Disney movie. She saw something on YouTube and wanted to go to Disney. And he said it might have been the happiest he's ever seen her. Like, she was just happy sitting, looking at the people and the lights, just having a great time. And it's just, this is a guy who's very irreverent, not safe for work. I would have never thought there was any kind of Disney connection. And it's funny how they pop up every now and again. It's interesting to me.
Yeah, I just remember the first time I took my parents. We went to Epcot the first day, and we got done. I was like, "So, what'd y'all think? Did you enjoy it?" My mom's like, for her first time, she's like, "I don't know if I don't feel very Disney." I was like, "Well, we're going to the Magic Kingdom tomorrow. I bet you that will change." When we turned the corner to look at the castle, my mom was smiling like a giddy little girl. I think my mom was 68 or 69 at the time. And I said, "How about now?" And she said, "Yes, this is what I've been waiting for, to see this." And for the rest of the day, her and my girls were skipping around the park. They were going on all the rides, and I could just see my mom like light up for the, like she's always happy, but like this is what I'm thinking to myself, this is what my mom was like when she was a teenager and a kid back in the 50s and the 60s, jumping around playing with her friends, but she's doing it with her grandkids in Magic Kingdom.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to go back through these comments, but Andrew says his mom doesn't like crowds, but he's right. It's a different kind of crowd. And Chris says that what isn't to love with hanging out with 50,000 of your closest friends. And we've met, my kid met I was talking about on Facebook about what to do in the lines. My kid met a pen pal that they talked with for years, which is kind of cool. And you're going to get angry people. I think I talked about it. I forget when it was in October when I walked out of the park. It was the worst of Disney. Like from Tron to the gate, I was like, oh boy, this is why people don't like coming here. It was all in one spot. Just for some reason, it was concentrated. I have no idea why, but it's not normally like that. Usually it's fun, nice stuff.
I think one of the crazy things I saw was there was two, like a husband and a wife. They got their ECV handles, the armrests stuck together. They were going opposite directions. And it was right after a parade. And I looked at the cast member and I was like, they're going to need help getting unstuck. And the girl just put her head in her hands and was just like, ugh. And they're screaming and yelling. And I'm like, you're in the magical place on earth and you're screaming and yelling about your electric cart being stuck. I'm like, you can't not be mad about something right now. Just laugh about it and move on.
Well, and look, Walt wanted a place where we could all have fun together, right? And that doesn't mean you have to have a kid to enjoy Disney, in my opinion. That being said, when I am there, I like to think of it as kid first, right? Like the kids come first. If it's and they don't really do this, but if it was the last ride of the night and it was between me and a family with their kids, I'm going to let the family go every single time, right? If I got a good spot for the parade, but a kid can't see, I'm giving up my spot, right? Even if it's something I've never seen before. And even when I'm filming a video, I would never prioritize that over some kid's the greatest day of his life, right? Or her life. But
right,
it was a place designed so that we could all have a good time. And I mean, I don't really have a dog in the hunt because I don't drink alcohol, but I was a little reticent when they started doing like a lot of alcohol stuff, but I think it works out okay. I know people have said that Epcot can get rowdy at night. We've stayed till closing. I've never really noticed anyone being just even tipsy. Like it seems to, I know it's happened, don't get me wrong, but I do think that we, I think it brings out the best in people. And I think that's why people like it. Right. Yeah. And like Chris says, because it's something we love, because maybe we are Disney adults in the best sense of the word. It's fun to plus it for other people. We want to share it. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe there are some content creators I keep reading about that really keep it, for themselves, but most of us want to give this away. Right. I mean, we want to share this. Again, that's the whole reason I make those videos, is because while there are tons and tons and tons of Disney videos out there, I didn't like all of them. And I thought if I didn't like them, then maybe someone would like mine. Because even though I won't go back and watch mine, because you get self-critical and all that. That's the kind of video I wanted to see, right? Yeah, perfect, Andrew. Walt was the original Disney adult.
Absolutely, 100%.
And Karen says her oldest boy met a person on the bus to Animal Kingdom one time, and she was from South Africa, learning about apartheid and history at the time, and they were very nice to talk to him about it. I mean, this is the kinds of, I don't think I've ever had any apartheid conversations on the bus, but that's pretty cool, right? People just, I think it's a place you can let your guard down a little bit, and maybe that's why, right? Maybe the kind of person who loves Disney is the kind of person who wants a better place, right? Maybe we want a little magic. We want something that's not going to happen in the real world, at least not today, right? Not this moment. So we can go there and for a little while, a week each year, a couple days here and there, we can go where most people live a little better, right? Where people are a little less selfish and a little more giving and a little happier, right? There's a lot of happy people at Disney. How could you not want to be a Disney adult?
I remember standing in line. I think it was for Small World, and the guy was upset, and his wife slapped him in the chest and goes, "You're in Disney World. How can you be grumpy?" And he made a comment to her, and she goes, "We need to figure out how to get a smile on your face because we're in Disney World." And she was serious. I'm like, she's right. How can anybody walk through any four of the gates or even go to Disney Springs? Because in my mind, that's the fifth park. You go there and not be happy. Even at a place down the street that's in the dark corner of Orlando, how can you go there and not be happy?
I mean,
I
it's
just, I don't understand how, if it's for some people, it's not for others. I get it. But while you're there, at least have fun.
yeah,
Let your kids think you're happy.
right. Just for a few moments, right? Just for a little bit. It's kind of the equivalent for the year round. Why can't we have Christmas the whole year round? To me, it's a little bit like vacation Christmas or something, where maybe people pick up a little trash here and there that they wouldn't at home. Why don't we take a little bit this back out in the world? Why don't we keep that? Oh, and see, I love this. Like Chris says, it's the only place he removes all of his work accounts and just focus on being there. Like that's what you do. I actually have done the opposite. I actually solved a client's problem from the Ferris wheel at Disney World. Yeah. And Jeremy says, was that guy wearing the most expensive day ever at shirt? Right. I've seen those.
I don't think your guy wore matching shirts.
Have you ever worn if you've worn matching shirts on vacation, you might be a Disney adult. And we have. Have I ever told you that story? Here's a good one.
Oh, here's a Disney adult thing for you.
Fire.
We don't have a Christmas party for my dealership. We have a kickoff party, so it's after the first year. Well, we found out that Hey Dude sells Disney Hey Dudes now. So
right.
the place that sells them was at a shopping mall across the street from the convention place we're having it. So we got up early enough to get there when they opened to go buy matching shoes because we wanted to have them before we went on our trip in February. If that doesn't make you a Disney adult to buy matching shoes.
If you've ever worn matching shoes to a theme park, you might be a Disney adult. We did ours one year and oh no, this is how it started. Let me tell it correctly. So I don't do Christmas. Yeah, I was getting ready to say, Jeremy says he just got a pair of the Mickey pair of Hey Dudes. And I sat there and looked at his picture of him getting them. So my wife decided one year that we need to do Christmas cards. And I've never done them, and I should. It's good for my business. I just don't. And so we ran to Walmart. I took a family photo. I put it in the machine, did the Christmas card, printed them out, took them home, sent them out. And then about a week later, we realized that I didn't change the name. So it said Merry Christmas from the Hendersons on it. And my last name's Robertson. So totally wrong name. Yeah, exactly. And so when I made I've only made matching shirts one year. Although I think these, I found those at Kohl's or something, and we did all get those. But the one year I actually had shirts made, I did the Hendersons Magical Vacation. My wife keeps telling people we're in the witness protection program. So we're the Hendersons. So if you ever see me, feel free to call me Mr. Henderson. All right,
we did the matching shirts for the Halloween party one time. Yeah, we've done that before. It was interesting, and we try to do it for Christmas, and it never worked for us. I don't know why we wait till the last minute, try to buy stuff, and it's all sold out. Yeah,
Karen says if you this is a lot. if you get dressed up in your turning red garb and bring your stuffed Maymay to see the movie at the movie theater when they release it, you might be a Disney family. And how about that? Disney family doesn't seem to get any flack. You can be a Disney family when you're a Disney adult. No. And that's another question we get. Like, haven't your kids outgrown it? Aren't your kids tired of going? Absolutely not. I'll be fair that I probably like it more than they do, but I mean, my kids are turning 21 this October, my twins, and we are planning a trip so they can drink around the world. That's what they want to do for their 21st. And nice. I couldn't be prouder, you know. I have bail money just in case, but you know, I mean, even in something that one could argue is detrimental behavior, they want to do it in the most magical place on earth, which is fun.
Absolutely.
So there's
like I said, anytime I plan a trip, I tell my girls we're going to Disney. You want to go? They never told me no.
Not once. Not once. I did have Charlotte, my daughter, went home early one year, but that's because there was a music festival, and so I let her fly home by herself because she wanted to go see that, and that's okay, right? Yeah. So Poseidon had said too that Disney fans will co-sign anything with Mickey ears on it, like Epcot's building, right? They just painted Mickey on the side. Oh, it's great. Look how cool, you know, that kind of thing. I think we know better than that Disney doesn't always hit home runs because no one does, right? You know, what's the Mendoza line in baseball? 300. If you've got a 350 batting average, that's an MLB average, right? That's pro level material. So, you know, you need to cut them some slack, but also I think it seems like Disney listens a little bit. We adult fans, that we drive demand, right? Which people don't like because they want to take their kids, and that increased demand gets higher prices, and then, you know, contributing to crowds. I did see, I think it was a big meme about some lady who yelled at some young couple for getting a pretzel in front of their kid or something. You know, let's all just relax a little bit, have a churro. We'll figure it out. It's going to be fine. Wow, Chris, you have a 19 and a 23-year-old? You don't look like you should. And that's a compliment. Asked me yesterday when they're going back. It's been 231 days since we've been there. And if you know that your last trip was 231 days ago, you might be a Disney adult. We've got to, I'm going to post one of those a day. I'm going to make that for 30 days. I'm going to figure out 30 different ones, and I'm just going to drive it into the ground. But like we were talking about earlier, you know, Disney adults spend, right? They buy the popcorn buckets. They buy all the snacks, even if it's just, hey, look, Lindsay Dollinger's here. So nice of you to stop in. I really appreciate it. Lindsay's great. She's a Momentum. If you haven't gone to Lou Momentum, just listen to last week's episode and you can find out, which, by the way, did you see I got the audio up before this? How about that? Yeah, it's new year, new me.
Yes.
It's not going to last long.
You're doing good.
Thank you. That'll be the last time. Because I'm leaving town Thursday, so who knows when this one will get up. And then again, we support the festivals, the lounges, the after hours events, right? I mean, even Walt said, you know, is this place for kids? And he said, well, no, because they're not the ones who pay the bills. They're not the ones who buy the stuff, right? You know, it's designed for everyone.
Yep.
All the premium experiences, VIP tours. You know, the parents spend the money. Adults spend this money. And I did see someone kind of blaming Eisner for adultifying things, but I just don't see it. I don't think it was. I think it was smart because I think, and I honestly don't know if I'm being fair. I don't know if life imitated art there, were Disney adults already coming, and so they added adult things, or did they add adult things for Disney people to do? It's hard to say. I mean, I've been going to Busch Gardens, which is 45 minutes away from me since 1975 when it opened. We've had passes ever since. We go as adults all the time, and no one there makes fun of me. You know, they do Howl the Scream. No one's going, oh, you're a theme park adult.
You're Carolyn.
And that was what Poseidon was also saying, that there's a difference somehow between someone who enjoys theme park maybe building or customization or planning is different than someone who just likes the theme parks. But I don't care, right? I do think I was talking to my youngest daughter about drinking, right? And she's in her first year of college. And I don't drink, but I'm not angry at alcohol or anything like that. You know, I bartended for the last 32 years of my life and wasn't drinking most of that. In fact, yesterday was 22 years since I drank. You're welcome, America. Trust me, it's better for all of us. But I was telling her, I was like, well, you know, it's okay to drink and go out and have a good time, but you don't want it to become an identity, right? And that's the thing, is because when you make it your identity, then you're going to fight about it. You know what I mean? Like if your identity is Disney and someone says, you know, I don't like Disney. Well, now they're saying they don't like you. And as much as I love Disney, you know, my family, I guess, is my identity. I don't even know. I don't even know who I am anymore, right? But you can badmouth Disney all you want. It's okay. It doesn't hurt my feelings. Doesn't make me feel bad. I'm with Karen from earlier, and if I try to scroll back, I'll lose my place. You know, when people say things about Walt being frozen or that he was, you know, anti-Jewish or racist, you know, those things do get under my skin because they're just said out of ignorance and not at least reading both sides before you make a judgment. You know, I know I'm so ADHD, but Chris says he has multiple childless couples that love Disney. It is another market. And as he's just saying that, my parents are not Disney people, but they went there for their honeymoon in my dad and my stepmom in like 1976. And they were an adult couple. And I don't recall anybody making fun of them. Plus my dad's huge and played rugby for 20 years. So no one's going to make fun of him anyway.
Wow.
And so, I mean, so the good things is that it's joyful, right? It brings a lot of joy. And I think those of us, you know, especially in this community and Lou's group, you know, we unapologetically love it, right? We talk about it with each other, but like take Jeremy from Main Street Magic. I know he loves music, right? And he does a lot of posts about that. You know, it's not the only thing he does. It's not his identity. It's a lot of different things. And again, and then the community. I mean, you know, I got to see Andrew. I'm going down this weekend. He and I are texting back and forth to see when we'll be there. I think I'm going to meet up with Jeremy. I met Andrew Prince, Charleston, Andrew and I have met up together. You know, I mean, if I ever go to Alaska, which we are going to do, then we're going to see Tony. I mean, I don't know a lot of sports fans who, and I guess it does happen, but meet up in communities like this where it's just so happy and joyful and people are so charitable and awesome and wonderful. Like it's a really happy group of people, right? And the bad side to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then
shoot.
No, sorry. This thing's delayed. It's killing me, but my bad, folks. Yeah, like we have a hockey team here in town, and it's real popular. And they remind me of Disney people because they'll follow the team to other towns, and it's a minor league hockey team. It's not like it's the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they'll get it with other teams that are there and say, "Hey, we're going to tailgate at blah blah blah." And they'll have 50, 60 people there. I've put a post out when I'm going down because we've had meetings at the GM conference room at Test Track for work. Hey, I'm going to be at Epcot this day. Is anybody going to be down there? There's an AP site, and I've met a couple AP people down there. It's just pretty cool to be able to do that and to have that and know that anytime I go to Florida, I can put a post out there and say, hey, my family's going to be down there. Anybody want to get together for a cheeseburger spring roll, or going to meet at Disney Springs and grab a bite to eat or just talk? That's one thing I liked about Lou. When he had meets of the month, you could go meet people. Only went to one, but the first time I walked up, somebody walked up to me and said, hey, you're here for the meet of the month. My name is blah, 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 blah. I'm like, hey, how's it going? And we talked for 15 minutes. And next you know, it's been 4 hours. I've met 20 new people.
See, I mean,
we've been friends ever since on the internet.
Yeah. I mean, and that's That's the thing. It's a welcoming group of people. Like, you have to be pretty awful to get kicked out of a Disney group, right? Oh, well, maybe I shouldn't say that, because that's how I ended up with Lou. Because there is a lot of negativity, and I had to kind of get that out. I'll tell you what. How about this? This is what, if I didn't really need it, but I'm not going to lie, it made me feel pretty good. I've got a buddy who's a SEAL, Team 6, who loves Disney just as much as I do. Like, knows just as much about it, plans his trips, will call me to talk about it, and that guy's a trained killer, right? One of the baddest dudes on the planet, and that guy will walk through that park in Mickey ears, covered in tattoos and tridents, and not care at all. So that makes me feel a little better about myself. Not that I needed the cosign, but it is nice.
I got a friend of mine who played professional football, and he's 6'5", 240. And when he first time went to the park, his wife sent me a picture. He's holding his daughter's holding his thumb. He's got a set of Mickey ears on. He said, "Do you ever think you see a 240-pound grown man wearing Mickey ears with his little girl in the park?" And I said, "Girls will make dads do anything, but Disney will even do it even better." Because it's true. Both my girls could tell me, "Hey, I want you to dress up as Prince Charming when we're going to the park." You know what? I'm gonna do it because it's gonna be funny as hell, for one thing, to see me dressed up as Prince Charming. But my kids want me to do it. I'll do whatever they want. It's just some things you can explain. I can explain Disney 99% of the time, but when it involves my kids and I see how they're lighting up and they're excited, I'm mush. I'm gonna go with the flow. I'm gonna have a good time, and I'm already planning in my head. When are we going to come back for a long weekend? Are we going to go for Halloween? What's the next thing? It's my thing.
It'll bring you to your knees every time, every single time. There's a lot going on there: storytelling, engineering, music, food, the general atmosphere. There's emotional stuff that goes on, that's the cool thing. Like, the nostalgia's there for me, but I only went a couple times as a kid. It wasn't a regular thing for us. But you go back each time because there's something new and something old, something blue. No, wait, that's the wrong thing. Something old and something new. It's nostalgia and discovery at the same time, right? It's pretty cool. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
How about this? What does every quarterback say when he wins the Super Bowl? What's the next thing they do?
I'm going to Disney World.
That's exactly right. It's exactly right. And yet all of my sport, you're going to Disney again? Super Bowl weekend? You're going to go to Disney? Yeah, I am. Because at least I get to play my sport, right? You're not on the team. I'm actually, my kid and I have been trying to work on a cartoon for that, where Disney adults at least get to play with their toys instead of watching someone else play a game for you.
Right.
So call me a Disney adult if you want. I would argue that I am just not an adult in any definition of the word. There's a lot of Disney stuff I don't do. We talked about it before. I don't want to dress up. I love Star Wars. Look behind me. I mean, there's a X-Wing fighter right there, a lightsaber. I mean, I love Star Wars. I don't want to wear Star Wars clothes. I mean, I'll wear a t-shirt. I don't want to dress up in Jedi robes. I don't want my own stormtrooper armor. I think it's awesome when someone does that, but it's not me. I probably never will do Disney bounding. I don't only wear Mickey Mouse t-shirts. I have lots of other interests and things I do. I don't know if I'm well-rounded, but I try to be, right? At least pretend. Disney is definitely a Roman numeral in my life. And I think because I'm trying to make a job out of it a little bit, then it becomes, a little more than I'm just a fan. But I mean, even if I wasn't, I love what I do with Disney, and I have no regrets, no apologies. You've never seen that floating shoe? See, this is why you gotta, if you're listening to the audio right now, you are missing the floating shoe. Yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it? There's a light too, but it's really bright. I'll turn it on next week. I'll turn it on next time we don't have a guest. I forget to turn things off a lot, and I hate wasting electricity. But I think that's a pretty good discussion on Disney adults, don't you? Some little trips down memory lane, and
yeah, absolutely.
Feel like we almost had an outline. So for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, now we just got to find an exciting topic for next week.
If I had to put it yeah. It's funny. You text me and I was eating lunch and I was like, what are we going to talk about tonight? And then it was like, bing. And I went, oh, like that's what we're talking about tonight. But no, I think if you did a definition of, if you had to, make your own Urban Dictionary definition of a Disney adult is a positive individual who likes to go back and be a kid.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that's the, and then there's, maybe we can come up with another word for people who are just, some people are just too much, right? Even if they're nice, they're too much. It's right. A lot. And I have seen people where I'm like, oh boy, I mean, just, it's so much. But you know what, man, if that brings them joy, it's like people who take Hondas and then chop the suspension and put a spoiler on the back of them. Like I used to really get angry at these people and they got this loud muffler and I'm like, why do I care? Like that kid's having a good time. Why am I mad at him? He's not doing it to my car, so I don't care. But I think that's just what it is. You don't understand it. You don't like it. So obviously I have some sort of Disney psychosis, which I'm willing to live with, frankly. So, all right. Well, agree. I'm going to call it. And I feel like if we just talk now, we're just, buying back the product, as we say in sales. So check out all the social medias, but mostly Disney, and check out Mouse Gears. Andrew, is there a new video up? Did you take a video of Christmas coming down in your house?
No, it was.
No, you shouldn't have.
We're still taking it down.
Yeah, so am I.
Putting it up.
My living room is still totes. Just
I do have
boxes.
one I'm working on. Yeah, we have totes everywhere too. It's ridiculous. 32 of them I've counted so far. There's a video coming out probably in a couple of days. I'm just working on editing it, so it's an older video I found on an SD card that I didn't know I had.
Yeah, I just posted one this week from Father's Day. That's how far behind I am. But I try to do the timely stuff first. So like we're leaving Friday and then we'll do Festival of the Arts on Sunday and get back Monday night. So probably middle of the week next week, I'll put out the, I just can't say farts, Festival of the Arts video. So that'll be out for everybody to see what that festival looks like, at least, kind of early on. And then I've still got some summer stuff and some hotel reviews to do. And I know I'm going down in March and staying at Animal Kingdom for the first time, which will be exciting. Nice. Yeah. And then I'm still, my wife just texted me and said, come out and hang with your wife. So I guess I better do that. It's nice to have a wife, and I'd like to keep her because she's the reason I don't live on a park bench and eat marshmallows. So thanks, guys. Karen, Tony, Chris, I always love it when you show up. Caleb, Andrew, Lindsay, it was nice of you to stop by. Jeremy, thanks, buddy. If I missed you, I'm sorry. And come back by next week because we'll definitely be here next week and we'll run through. And thanks to Milo from all the way from Colombia. That makes me so happy. I just think that's so awesome. Cool. All right, guys, have a great evening. Thanks for joining us. See you next week.
See you.